Before you sell your house, quit your job, ship your life overseas, or tell everyone back home that you're officially moving to Spain, let me tell you something I strongly believe. Spending up to 90 days in Madrid first may be one of the smartest decisions you can make. And I say that not as a tourist, not as someone repeating what they read online, but as someone who actually lives here. Hey y'all, I'm Serge, and welcome back to It's Serge Approved. If you're here and you're new, please subscribe to the channel. It's all about real life in Madrid, Spain. The good, the bad, the practical, and everything in between. And today, I want to talk about something that I think a lot of Americans, and honestly, a lot of people in general, do not take seriously enough before making a move abroad. And that is, you do not always need to move permanently first. Sometimes the smartest move is to test the move. And that is where Madrid and the 90-day stay becomes so important. Because a lot of people fall in love with Spain online. I did. They see the cafes, the plazas, the architecture, the slower pace, the food, the lifestyle, and they start thinking, this is it. This is what I want. I need out, I need change, I need a reset. I understand that feeling. I really do. I did it. I needed a change. Now, because for many of us, that desire is real. Sometimes it comes from burnout, which I was. Sometimes it comes from stress, which I was. And sometimes it comes from feeling like the life we built back home doesn't feel the same way it used to. Yeah, it did to me after COVID. So sometimes it comes from curiosity, sometimes from frustration, sometimes from wanting something more, and sometimes it's a combination of all of it, which I think that's what happened to me. And I've been in overseas before, but people also want international experience. You want cultural immersion. You want a healthier rhythm. You want adventure. You want a story worth telling, which that's always fun. And on paper, Madrid can look like the answer to all of that. And in many ways, it's an incredible city. But here's what I want people to understand though. So visiting Spain and living in Spain are not the same. And everyone knows that, right? Well, watching videos about Madrid and building a daily life in Madrid are not the same thing. All right, so falling in love with the idea of Madrid and actually adapting to Madrid are also not the same thing. And that difference can cost you time, money, energy, and a peace of mind if you underestimate it. That's why the 90-day stay is such a smart first step. It gives you the chance to see whether Madrid fits your real life. You're not on vacation life, right? Not your fantasy life, your real life. And that matters because once you start making permanent decisions, the pressure goes up. So if you already sold your home, that is pressure. If you already sold or you're already committed financially, that is also pressure. Your family is depending on the move, working out, that's pressure. If you're making decisions while you're also trying to understand visa, housing, paperwork, taxes, school, banking, phone plans, and cultural differences, that's also pressure. And that pressure mounts up and changes everything. It changes how you think. It changes how you feel. It changes how much room you have to make mistakes, that's for sure. And let me tell you, mistakes abroad can be expensive. Not just financially, it's emotionally too. Because when something goes wrong in your home country, we usually know how to handle things, how to recover, right? Okay, so you know who to call, you know the system, you know the language, you know the tone, you know the shortcuts. Hey, you have friends, right? You can reach out, family, right? Friends, everything. You know what sounds normal and what sounds off. You know what's not right. But when something goes wrong abroad, especially in the beginning, everything feels heavier because you're learning while you're solving, you're adapting, you're trying to stay excited, right? Well, you're also trying to stay functional. And that is exactly why testing Madrid for up to 90 days makes so much sense. It gives you breathing time. It gives you time to observe. It gives you time to compare things, you know? And most importantly, it gives you time to experience the city without forcing yourself to commit too early. I mean, you know. Okay, so now let's talk about why Madrid specifically works so well for this. All right, so Madrid is strong. It's a very strong city for a trial stay because it gives you a lot of what people need to evaluate real life abroad. First, it gives you daily life. And daily life is the real test. Can you see yourself walking or waking up here on a random Tuesday, right? Can you figure out the metro? Of course you can. That's basic, right? Hopefully. Can you run basic errands? Well, yeah. Can you buy groceries without it becoming a whole event? Maybe. It was an event for me. Can you walk the neighborhood and feel a sense of rhythm? Maybe. Can you handle the pace? It was different for me. It was difficult, I'm not gonna lie. Can you handle the language barrier outside the service areas? I can. Can you deal with the heat in the summer? It's hot. Or the apartment quirks, all the timing differences, and the bureaucracy. Now picture yourself not just exploring, but actually functioning here. That is the real question. And 90 days gives you enough time to begin answering honestly. Because the first week, it's not enough. The first week, you're still running on adrenaline. Everything is exciting. Everything feels new. Even the inconvenience still feels kind of charming. You're in tourist mode. I overlook things. Maybe you will. You're forgiving things. I forgave things. You're telling yourself, this is amazing. I can totally do this. Or maybe you can. Maybe you can't. But do you not really know yet? Because somewhere along the way, the newness wears off a bit. And that's not bad. That's actually useful because once the shine settles, you start seeing the city for what it really is. You start noticing how long things take. You start noticing how things work and what doesn't work. You also start noticing what kind of neighborhood actually matches your lifestyle. You start noticing whether you need more quiet time, more family time maybe, or more nightlife, more walkability, or easier access to parks, transportation, or international schools. You start learning what your version of Madrid might actually look like. And that is valuable. It really, truly is. Because Madrid is not just one thing. Madrid is made up of different barrios, different rhythms, different personalities. One area may feel right for someone who's single, but yet different for a couple, and friendly for a family. One person may love the center, another may find it overwhelming. Someone may find that it's too much energy, another may want more peace. And the only real way to know that, right, is to spend enough time here to feel the difference. This is why, once again, 90 days is not just about staying in Spain. It's about learning Spain. It's about understanding how you react to the place. It is about testing the fit. And the fit matters more than just the fantasy. Now let's talk about another reason this trial period matters. Okay, so important, money. A lot of people make emotional decisions before they make informed financial decisions. I get it. I did it. It cost me. When people are tired, frustrated, or desperate for change, they want to move. I gunned it. They wanted action. I acted. They want relief. I want a relief. But a permanent move without clarity can create a whole new set of problems, which they did. The reason why I think 90-day stays gives you the time to see what things actually cost. Not just online estimates, not just somebody who's blogging, maybe an old blog from 2 years ago. I mean, your real costs, your groceries, your transportation, your eating habits, your lifestyle, your pace, your housing preferences. Everyone has a preference. I do. Now, your travel habits are important too. Your neighborhood too. Now, your comfort level, of course. That matters because one person's cheap Europe, it's another person's budgeting problem. And folks, Madrid is not cheap. It's not free. Let's be real about that. This city is expensive, just like back home, especially if you're coming in here without a plan, without context, or trying to recreate your American lifestyle exactly as it was back home. That does not work. In a short period, yeah, you can see that, it's working out. It helps you decide, but what do you really need? What can I adjust to? What feels worth paying for? What was I underestimating? And what kind of life am I actually trying to build here? Those are smarter questions than simply asking, can I move to Spain? Okay, because yes, people ask that all the time. But I think the better question is, can I build a life here that fits who I am, what I value, and what I need? That is a different conversation, and Madrid gives you that, a strong place to begin having it. Another reason the 90-day stay makes sense is because it lets you test your emotional adjustment. That part matters more than people think. A lot of people prepare for the logistical, but not the emotional side. And the emotional side is real. You may feel amazing at first, then uncertain, then tired, then frustrated, excited again. Oh my God. Then the homesickness begins. But then you're encouraged again because you talk to a friend back home or a family member. But then you're confused. All of that can happen in just 1 week. And that's normal because moving abroad is not just a geographical, it is psychological, it is emotional. It challenges your habits, your assumptions, your comfort zone, and your identity. And a trial state helps you see how you respond to all that. So, do you enjoy adapting? Do you get energized by something different? Do you become more alive when you are pushed to your limit? Maybe just a little? Or do you realize that when you really wanted, or what you really wanted, was not to move abroad at all, but just a break, a reset, a simple, different way of living back home? Maybe quitting your job and finding another one. There is no shame in learning that. That's actually useful. A successful 90-day stay does not only tell you whether to move, it can also tell you whether not to. And both outcomes can save you a lot. Now, let's talk about lifestyle because this is the part that makes Madrid so attractive. Madrid gives you the access to both city life and a broader Spanish experience. Wow. You can spend the week learning the rhythms of daily life and then use the weekends to explore 4 hours away, north, south, east, west. That's a huge advantage. You can hike, you can run, you can bike. My favorite, ice skate all over Madrid. You can take day trips. I know I've done it. You can visit nearby towns. I've done it with the girls. You can head into nature, which I love. It's peaceful. You can go deeper into food, history, culture, and its movement. And this matters because lifestyle is one of the biggest reasons people start dreaming about Spain in the first place. They want more life in their life. And Madrid gives you many ways to experience that. I checked it off my bucket list. Should you? One day, for example, you're grabbing coffee in your neighborhood. Another day, you're in Retiro, the park. It's beautiful, especially in autumn and spring. Another day, you're exploring local market. They're all different. Another day, you're on the weekend escape seeing another side of Spain. I love Asturias and I love Sevilla. And somewhere in that process, you start asking yourself a much more grounded question. Can you actually see yourself living like this? Not for 4 days, not for a perfect week, but for real. Like, honest, be honest. And that is the entire point. Because the goal is not just to impress yourself or how beautiful Spain is. The goal here is to learn whether Spain fits your real world life, you. And I think that's it. Where a lot of people online fall short. A lot of people show the highlights. The highlights matter, don't get me wrong. They should. Madrid deserves to be celebrated. Spain deserves to be celebrated. The food, oh my goodness, it's excellent. The culture is rich. The history is deep. And the architecture is beautiful. Plus, the people, the movement, the energy, the lifestyle, the possibilities, all of that matters. But the highlights alone do not help people make smart decisions. What helps people is context. What helps is the clarity. What helps people is honest information mixed with lived experience. That is what I want this channel to be. A place where you can get a more complete picture, the full picture. Not a fantasy, not a fear-based message either. I'm not trying to scare you. It's beautiful here. Just something more balanced because Madrid is not perfect. No place is. Back home thinking about it, it's not perfect. Spain has its own problems. There are frustrations here too. There are delays here. The bureaucracy, well, it's slow. And there are cultural differences that can wear on you if you're not prepared. There are housing surprises all the time. Things break just like back home. There are appointment issues, cancellations, reschedules. There are things that simply do not work the way they do back home in the States. And that can either frustrate you endlessly or become part of your adaptation process. Immersion. But either way, you need to know that you're walking into it. And that is why I keep coming back to the same point. Try it first. Test the waters. Give yourself up to 90 days with your passport to experience Madrid, making right choices before you make a permanent move or leap. Because when you do that, you give yourself a real chance to move with wisdom and instead of urgency. You give yourself a real chance to learn the city before expecting the city to carry all of your expectations. And that changes everything. So now, does that mean 90 days will answer every question? No, of course not. But it will answer many of the most important ones that you have. And sometimes that is exactly what people need. Not certainty about everything, just clarity about enough. Enough to move forward wisely. Enough to pause wisely. Enough to adjust the plan. To protect your time, your money, and your peace. So, if you're thinking about Spain, if you're considering Madrid, If you're trying to decide between fantasy and fit, between speed and strategy, between emotion and clarity, my advice is simple. Come on, come, experience it, learn it, live it for a while, and let Madrid show you what is real. Because when you do that, your next decision will be much better. And that, to me, is what this channel is all about. Helping you understand what real life here looks like before you make a major move. So, if that sounds like something you've been looking for, subscribe to my channel. Drop a question and let me know. I'm Serge, and thank you once again for watching. And the question is, would you spend 90 days in Madrid before deciding whether to move abroad? Hope you have a great day and keep on trucking in the free world.